Oshinoko. 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 So I came across this anime through Instagram Reels, and I'm not gonna lie, I dubbed it about 18 times. But you know, I'm glad I actually gave it a chance because honestly, this show was a 10 out of 10. Visually stunning, story was amazing, characters was great, and those eyes, bruh. I'm not gonna lie, I need me an artist to draw me like that. But you know, it's still not my favorite because you know, Your Goat in April exists. But it's still up there for one of my favorite slices ever. And I like it a lot because I feel like it tackles a lot of real world problems that we don't talk about. And that's what really gravitated me towards the show. So without further ado, this is my review of Oshinoko. But first off, W intro. That intro really had me diddy bopping every episode like I was a pop star. But this is 16-year-old Ai Hoshino, world-renowned pop star and lead singer of hit group B. Y'all, it's literally 6 o'clock in the morning and this train already hating. This is 16-year-old Ai Hoshino, world-renowned pop star and lead singer of hit group 𝕁𝕠𝕓. Now you would think being a 16-year-old and one of the most renowned singers in the world be pretty cool, right? Wrong. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So Ai has a problem. She's pregnant. Now teenage pregnancy in America at least is a huge thing. It really changes lives at an early age because you basically have to delegate all your life goals, dreams, and ambitions for 18 years, stateside at least, for the betterment of your child. Now unless you go through some other type of methods, which I'm not gonna say in this video, then that's your responsibility. I mean, you can always go through the foster care system, but you'll forever be left with that guilt that something that you conceded is being taken care of someone else. And to be honest, the foster care system is so messed up nowadays, you basically consent that you're okay with your child going through that. But I actually going through that as a child with being adopted and have her mother literally leave her and never come back, made her never want to put her children through that. So she decides to raise her twins Aqua and Ruby, keeping them a secret from the world so she can maintain her idol image. She was really on her Drake stuff when you think about it. But more on them later, because they are very key parts to the story. But Ai's whole MO is a life built on lies, because through the course of her traumatic backstory, she doesn't know what love is because she's never been loved or had anybody to love or somebody to show her what love is. It's kind of deep and depressing when you think about it because it's one of the main reasons that she didn't want to become an idol in the first place. Now love is a confusing thing because it can have a lot of different interpretations. For example, you can love a bagel or something, but you're not gonna love that as much as say your mother, right? The thing about love is completely subjective and there's no real true definition except for the one on Google, and you can argue that that's not true. But I bring this up because Ai's lack of love during her childhood and adolescence contributes to her putting up this fake facade for her fans just for a lack of the term to feel something. Now you may think Ai having children could help with that, but no, it didn't, because it was already so deep rooted and rotten to the core, it was already too late. Even with Ai's selfishness for her children, from wanting to contribute all her checks to her kids, which we find out that idols really don't bring home that much money because of the middleman, they basically get fucked over because Ai's literally charting number 3 and taking home the equivalent of $1,400 a month, which I feel that you can really relate that to how a lot of artists are nowadays. Half of them put up this fake facade for their fans to impress them, but whole time they really just trying to display the same thing that I was displaying. And over time, Ai gradually starts picking up financially and we start growing with her. She picks up more movie roles, more side-end jobs. She just starts getting more financially stable, but she's never growing emotionally because she had to come to the terms that she had a traumatic backstory and she had to live with that. And when she finally comes to terms with that and starts to want to actually change for her kids, her fans, herself, she gets murdered. Now I feel that Ai's death symbolizes that in a life of fame, there is no true winners, because over the time throughout the show, she constantly changes her image for her fans, from her smile to her demeanor to even how she carries herself in general. Even with her doing everything in her power to make everyone around her happy, it's always that one person that's never going to be happy and going to believe what they want to believe. Hence the stalker that kills her. Honestly, for these reasons, Ai was one of my favorite characters in the show because I could relate to her in a lot of different ways. But mainly mainly the love thing, because I'm a naturally introverted person. I don't base my life off of lies per se, but it's really hard for me to open up to people, and after hearing the word love so many times, it just starts to lose its effect. So I felt the culmination of events leading up to I's death were perfect, because every time you try to change, it's always that one roadblock that you have to get over. But in this case, for I, that roadblock just happened to have a knife, marking the end of our story for our idol and having a true story begin. Now, I feel this story is best told throughout the characters. It's not necessarily a plot. It's just you going day by day after Ai's death, if that makes sense. Now, this is Ruby Hoshino, youngest daughter of Ai Hoshino. Now, I feel the way Ai's death was perceived went down two different routes for the twins. And I feel it's best I explain it through the 5 stages of grief. I feel Ruby only showed 2 stages throughout the whole show: depression and acceptance. Now, instead of trying to get revenge and be angry, Ruby goes the route of wanting to honor Ai by wanting to become an idol as well. Even knowing the risk with stalkers, knowing the payout of idols, she just wants to honor her mother. Now, I feel Ruby represents the light side of all of us, the positive side that wants to look at everything from a good perspective. I feel like she acts this way because 1, she wasn't in the room where Ai actually died and didn't actually see her soul leaving her body, which I'm pretty sure as a kid that could be very traumatizing. And 2, because of her backstory. So Ruby and her brother are reincarnations of past lives, and in Ruby's past life, she had an illness that trapped her in a life of solitude and barely able to leave her hospital bed. Now, there was 2 pivotal characters in Ruby's life, Ai and Dr. 𝕟𝕠, the doctor that was tasked for taking care of her and checking up on her and stuff like that. Now, these 2 were very positive aspects in her otherwise miserable life. Ai being her role model, someone that she can look up to, and Dr. 𝕟𝕠 being the protector and the one she eventually fell in love with. I feel Ruby took the positive route because she was young and naive, and other than her sickness, she really didn't get to experience life itself, making Ai's death the first really negative thing she experienced throughout her life that happened to someone else. Now, throughout the story, you can tell that Ruby is young and doesn't know how to, lack of a better term, keep on going, but Ai taught her that through positive teaching and coaching, hence her taking her mother's positive side. And when she passes, instead of wanting to take revenge and stuff like that, she wants to pay homage to her mother. Now, I feel Ruby symbolizes the positive side of negative setbacks because she always tries to stay positive about Ai's death instead of sulking and trying to find a killer. Obviously, she cares but thinks more into how she can honor her mother by achieving her dreams rather than get revenge. And I say revenge because the crook that actually killed Ai actually took his save file right after that. But the thing is, Ai was so secretive about her life, it had to be someone that leaked the information to find out where her mother was. But like I said, I feel like Ruby's the positive side, but I think it's time we talk about the dark side. This is 𝕒𝕟𝕠 Hoshino. Yeah, I know that name is god awful, but he's the older of the 2 twins from Ai. Now, you remember those stages of grief that I brought up earlier? Aqua displays the other 3 throughout the story, because he is literally hell-bent on getting revenge for Ai. Like, bro literally spent 4 years trying to unlock a phone. Now, if that's not pure dedication, I don't know what is. Now, I feel Aqua's hunger for revenge is because of his past life, which I'm not gonna lie, bro almost made me drop the show completely because how much a creep he was. Because there's 2 things I can't stand in this world: EDPs and llama beans. But I digress. Aqua's past life was that of Dr. 𝕟𝕠, the doctor who took care of Ruby and the one who she fell in love with. And he was also the doctor responsible for delivering Ai's children. Now, obviously the doctor is older and sees things in a different light from Ruby because he actually experienced hardship and has experience from life itself. But I feel he acts the way he acts because of the way he passed. You remember that stalker that killed Ai? Yeah, he bodied Dr. 𝕟𝕠 too, just for being the doctor of her kids. Bro is really a generational hater. But from Dr. 𝕟𝕠 not believing in reincarnation and him being a part of it and actually starting a like life as Ai's son, to have everything ripped away from him in a matter of seconds again and actually witnessing it, I feel like that took Aqua to the dark path, the yin path. And it shows because over the course of the show, you see him lying to get what he wants and doing whatever he needs to get the job done, no matter the cost. Now, I feel Aqua represents that dark side of us that wants to go and get revenge and violence and just negativity, which Don't get me wrong, doesn't make Aqua a bad person at all, because anyone would feel that way if their mother passed away in their arms. But the good thing about Aqua is over the course of the show, his positive side comes into fruition more and more. From him helping others to him supporting his sister, to him even saving someone from deleting their save file. So I feel that Aqua symbolizes that even if you're in a dark place, you can still have some good left in you. Woo, they got some great characters, right? But the last thing I want to touch on this show, which I feel is the most important thing, is how they project social media onto the characters throughout the show. Throughout the show, social media has a lot of different effects, from making Ai change herself to Ruby seeing the backlash from Ai's death. But I feel the best way it was portrayed was through episode 6. Ego surfing. Now, for those of you who don't know what ego surfing is, it's basically looking yourself up. We all done it, some more than others, but I digress. Basically, the episode is centered around Akane, this hardworking actor on his dating reality show that Aqua is also on. But throughout the course of the show, Akane is struggling to keep up with the other cast members because she's not really like the others no matter how hard she tries. And one day, she reaches a boiling point and actually snaps and accidentally smacks a girl. Now, when I tell y'all social media has started grilling this girl, like honestly these comments were so downright disrespectful, I felt the attack. So basically through Akane ego surfing, she saw the negative image that she had conjured, and it got so bad that Akane was really planning on deleting her save file, and she would have succeeded if it wasn't for Aqua and her friends actually caring about her. And this scene was so much more powerful to me because of the relation it had to my story. A couple years back, I was thinking the same way, isolated, thinking no one cared about me, I meant nothing to the world, and I almost did it. But through God himself, I survived, and I got to see that people actually cared about me and show their love for me. And now I'm blessed enough to do content for my subs and not even subs that may be able to help them through a tough time and actually get them out of that situation. Now, I may have not been bombarded by social media, but at the same time, I felt the same pain that Akane was feeling. But the main thing I learned from that whole situation, that if people care about you, the least you can do is care about yourself. But to relate it back to the actual story, please don't let these social media geeks get to your heads, because honestly, as soon as they log off for the night, they're not gonna think twice about you. So don't forget on the time of day. If you are a person doing that, please stop it. I wish you nothing but rose thorns magically fall in your cereal when you're trying to enjoy your breakfast. But I feel this whole story just represents to be yourself and never to give up, because life always gonna put you down, but it's up to you to get back up. It's so much more that I can talk about on this show, but this video already getting long enough, and I'm tired, so I'm gonna go dream of being a pop star or something, and I'll leave the rest up to y'all. Go watch it. It's only about 11 episodes. You ain't doing nothing but watching me, so you might as well. But as far as that, I appreciate you if you made it this far. Leave a like, comment, and I'm out, man. I'm out.